And intention is just to think, and I will pass it to Moshe Hubs.
Thanks, Luda. Hello, everyone. I'm feeling good. Just finished my 1 week vacation. My focus for next week is a lot of developing for trade and also a search for the some of the trade. My intention for this call is to sync up with everybody and listen. Feeling
Wait, I didn't hear you very well. There was a lot of background noise, but I hope your vacation was great. I got that part. Okay. Well, there's not much to talk about this week. We can go through the basics at the top here, and then if we have anything to add in, we can just talk about it there. But basically, the only thing that I want to mention is that from Ashley's check-in, the givebacks relayer, which handles like handing out givebacks to dozens to hundreds of different addresses, ran out of give tokens to distribute. So we're blocked on sending out the latest round of givebacks. I made a transaction on the Gnosis safe, but it said it would fail, even though it said it would pass when I made it. Anyway, something weird is happening, but I made a new transaction. I checked that it would pass in like the simulation, and so we need to sign this in order to keep givebacks flowing. This will assign another 20 million give to the givebacks relayer from the token distributor. So as soon as that's signed and executed, that should be able to go through, I hope. So that means if you're a signer on the multi-sig, Giveth main on Gnosis safe, that's, Giant Kin, Griff, Rochelle, Lauren. I think that's it on this call, actually. No, sorry. But please go ahead and sign that, and we can hopefully get givebacks out. Apart from that, I don't think there's anything else for us to vote on. The give garden's clear, and our give's done. Snapshot, of course, nothing. Simulated success, great, I like it. And that's it. I went through the forum. I didn't really find anything new for us that we really need to talk about. The only thing I want to make room for is if like Ashley said, we need to be ready for this working group transition in a month. So I don't know if there's anything we need to talk about right now. We also have the call on Thursdays. Anything we're still not clear on? Okay. All right. Well then, if there's really nothing else to talk about, then I'll just remind you all that we should be making room to leave some peer reviews. So Buddy Roo, PSA forever and always. Oh, you got something for Shell?
Yes, so as mentioned earlier, we're trying to move time reporting to Clockify. And I just want to give a heads up for everyone to please expect invites, and then send detailed instructions in our group chat. And same as Coda, you could also add your hours manually, so you don't necessarily have to track it real time. So it's really up to you if you want to track real time as you're working, or you just add your times by the end of the week or by the end of the month. So yeah, that's just it. So that's starting this month for me. So yep, that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay. Excellent.
By this month, you mean June, Freshell, or May already?
For May.
So should we use Coda or should we use this new tool?
We will use Clockify for May.
Okay, so just waiting for your instructions on how
Yes, we will send. Yeah, we will send invites and instructions before the end of the month.
Go ahead, Mitch.
No, nothing. Go ahead, Griff, please.
Thanks a lot for that, Rochelle. I'm glad that Coda was really getting annoying. Honestly, it was so slow. But I have another topic, and it's related to buddy reviews. I was thinking about making some sort of mandatory or requesting a mandatory, like every single person has to fill out 3 buddy reviews a quarter on their on people they work with. Because right now, in this last quarter, I think it was like Lauren and Suga basically filled out feedback on everybody, and lots of people didn't fill out any feedback. And so it was like, well, here's your buddy review. What did Lauren and Suga think? And maybe one other random person. And that was every buddy review. And well, that seems kind of dumb. So I don't know. My proposal is that everyone has to fill out at least 3. I don't know how to enforce that or the best thing there, or maybe there's another idea that we might have. But whatever we have, what we're doing right now isn't working. So we need to do something different.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe because the thing is, if I fill out the 3 and we all do kind of the same 3 people, then we get stuck in the same thing. But it's like I like that people DM me and tell me, "Hey, please tell me how I'm doing," you know? And I think that's more effective. Like making sure you like pick 3 people that like you want to get a review on, and that's like at least you get the minimum.
So like have the people who are being reviewed actually do the outreach instead of the buddy, for instance, maybe, and make sure that they get 3.
I mean, I think both are good. I always do it. I don't think I do it for myself and for all my buddies. I ask people for their opinions on me and for other people. Also, I fill out these forms because I think there's a lot of value in providing peer feedback. So anyway, you're like, well, Lauren filled out all the forms. Thanks. You're welcome.
Thank
Took
you.
a lot of time, and I think a lot about these things. Anyway, but yeah, I think that buddies need to be proactive about trying to support their buddy and doing outreach. And then also, if you want reviews from people, do your outreach as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Do you think that has it? Oh, sorry. Has it always been like this? Because I wonder if maybe there's a delay. I wonder if it had anything to do with that feedback that I gave, like where it suddenly became under question that would buddy reviews be part of like paid work or not? Or I don't know. Maybe some people were not finding the time to do it because it didn't seem that that it seems like extra work or something. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Like in the last, I think Nico or some there was like a big list of loads of people who needed it. And the funny thing is I was almost like, oh no, I'm gonna have to say I can't do these. But then I thought, what the heck? Just go do them. I'm just gonna go do them. And if nothing else, I feel like buddy review is like related to praise. Can you all still hear me? Because I feel like maybe I.
Oh yeah,
we can still hear.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, thank you. I just thought. Yeah, I mean, I know it's not super useful to see loads of 10s and whatever, but at the same time, like if nobody else is doing buddy reviews, I just want to do them at least to show people that I'm watching, that I'm here, that I'm listening, that you're doing good work, even if I don't even know what you're doing. I just to provide support. That's all.
Okay.
But like I did, I had to cancel my buddy review call for Amin because it was Lauren, Suga, and maybe one other person were the only people who reviewed him. not a single developer, and I don't think almost any developers reviewed anybody. I'm not sure if and that's just not acceptable because that's a whole side of the team, So we need to really get, everybody's feedback. So I don't know. I feel like, maybe either a carrot or a stick. Hey, if you don't fill out 3 feedback forms for people, you lose $200 off your paycheck or something. I don't know. I'm totally down for ideas, but does anyone else have a better idea?
I think this is what we were talking about in the DAO-Ops call, trying to figure out how to make this more effective.
I think maybe in teams or maybe in chapters. I don't know how it's going to look like in the future. But however, in chapters, besides syncing and other stuff that we're doing as usual in weeks, we have to also plan this one. And usually it's said that chapter management should also include EHR stuff like this. Career path, feedbacks in the team, removing conflicts is also included in the chapter management. Maybe it's a good idea.
Yeah, just to add to that,
Nico, please.
I just want to explain what is the current situation of our buddy review system right now. So currently, when someone has a buddy call, we post in the channel that they are having the buddy call, and I message the buddy about the buddy call. And also some of the buddies who are supposed to have the call is proactive enough to message the contributors that they're having a buddy call, so it sounds more personal, like what Mitch said. Like, for example, Franco has been messaging people that he's having a buddy call, and every now and then, whenever the buddy is scheduled to happen, like for example in 2 days from now, I check if we get enough reviews, and if not, I ask the buddy who are the people that they're working currently closely with, and then I ask feedback from those people. But then after doing all those things, it's really not enough to gather enough feedbacks for the buddy call. There are really some people who get very least numbers of buddy review calls. So I would like to support Grip's idea of a mandatory buddy review, like 3 for the most. I mean, for those buddies for the people who you've closely worked with, like give at least 3 feedbacks. And also I think tapping the stewards and the chapter leads after this notification, like the working groups stewards, could really help us get review from that working group, because those are the people that they're closely working with. So I just want maybe the cooperation and of everyone, because I can only remind people to do their buddy calls and message them to leave a review. But I think that's it.
What about, and I know Heather's out, but it seemed like that buddy review jam session that we had last month went pretty well. It was pretty well attended, and it seemed like we knocked out a bunch in an hour. What about if it was like mandatory once a month jam session like that to try to knock them out? I mean, again, once she gets back, she can confirm how well it went. Or Nico, maybe you have statistics from that session, because I know you were on it.
For that call, Jake, we were able to gather around 21 feedbacks during that hack buddy call session. But those were also some from the same people who attended, like the same people like Suga, you. So the same people are giving the buddy reviews actually. So there are really some people in here who are not giving reviews to their co-contributors. So I'd like to encourage you guys to give reviews. So but it was effective.
I wonder if we could have like a leaderboard of sorts. You guys could publish a leaderboard of like, these are the people who are giving the most reviews, and there's
I don't think people, if they won't care.
Yeah. I think a big part of it is actually just like the culture of it. Most of our dev team isn't in this call. Like Monique comes to the gov call and is like, okay, buddy reviews. I see why this is important, but Ramin is like focusing on the front end work that he has to do. So I think like maybe, I don't know, this like communicating of the culture. Go ahead, Mitch.
I have an idea. We can take it out of their vesting. We can't pay them less, but we could give them less vesting. You know?
Yeah. If you don't do buddy reviews, you get less vesting.
That's a good stick.
Or we just communicate more clearly, like the importance of this. Like we're talking about in this call, where none of those developers are listening, and they're not going to listen to this call. So who's going to include them in on the loop and actually make this message clear? I think it's like a matter of communicating the importance, and you know.
I agree. I mean, not giving vesting is not going to solve the problem. I don't think it's going to solve the problem. It may solve the problem of not giving away so much gift, but not the type review problem. I think with the new verification process, there's a chance that we can at least have everyone on one of the groups have to create the evaluation for the rest of the teammates on that group, and try to find a way to make at least get 3 or 4 reviews from everyone. That's the minimum from my own perspective.
Go ahead, Monique.
I think this vesting is, it's not a quick feedback. Feedback should be very quick. And, if for 3 months later, I got less payment, who cares? And but I remember when we talk about, having a steward for each working group, just selected as a steward, but he said that Monique helped me on this HR stuff because I'm not available enough to be careful about this. And I think, in this sub-notification and new stuff that is happening within the work groups or within the chapters, it should be handled, I think, just to echo what I suggested. It means that, what does chapter mean? I have to be careful about the availability of the people, the communication with the people, the plan for their week, and also their career paths, the feedback stuff, and, the other stuff. And also ease these, flows within the communication team and with the other working group, and with also, with the DAO and stuff, something like this. Just an example for the dev team that I said that I did not my job very well on this part.
I think I don't encourage punishment, but maybe delaying your paycheck. You haven't done your job. You're not getting paid until you do it.
No, I think it's a cultural thing. I really think it's a cultural thing. And like, we should be thinking about solutions, like how to include people in the culture more, and how to like just create more of this like common alignment. And, what about we like do a switch up of buddies or something like that, even just for review calls. Maybe you have like a normal buddy who supports you most of the time, but then like for your review call, like I review Mohammed, then I will get Ramin and Sharik and Ali Reza to fill out forms for them or something like that. And then if Mohammed has to review Suga, then Suga will be like, Mohammed, you have to do these things for me. And then we have this kind of like communication of the culture. And I think that's just going to be more effective, because it's not like people don't care. It's that they're like not really realizing the importance or not really understanding the value in that. So I think it's just like if we create more of that connection, it could be a solution.
Yeah. I don't want it to feel like the typical like manager-employee relationship. Like it's like your buddy. Like it would be very effective if like, the working group lead had a buddy review with all of their people who work in their working group. But then it's like we're recreating that like that manager stereotype where like I'm reviewing you, That's
not what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting like Almond does a review for Ramin, because then Almond will push Sharik and Amin to review Ramin, because like, she gets the culture and why this is important. And then Ramin will see what Almond's doing for her and will understand that value and do it for the next contributor,
Okay, I need to think about this more. Picture it. I think it's a good idea managing it somehow within chapters and working groups, and like there's going to be lots of support from DAO ops to like help them figure all that out. But yeah, something needs to be made a requirement and building a culture around it. Any more ideas we can get here? I think I'll take this to the DAO ops call.
Feedback. Sorry. I know that all of you think that these filling forms are easy to go, but I think it's a little bit complicated, to be honest. At least if you take a look at the data for non-native or the people that their English or their writing is not that much good, it's hard to fill out the form. I think, I'm not sure, but I think it might be a reason. If we add more, for example, just clickable questionnaires or something like this, that we can make the whole process more easy, I think it would be more fruitful.
But also lower the quality of the data, though.
Not sure how we can prove that, for example, it takes has more quality than the data. Mm-hmm. Designing a questionnaire is a kind of art.
There is a qualitative, like having the space to kind of be free is really important, I think the buddy forms, I feel like we are a default English company, and or organization, and we need to people who aren't great at English generally use ChatGPT or some kind of translator, and it shouldn't be so hard for them to give feedback in their native tongue and then just have it translated into English and put it in. Or if they don't want to do that, they could even just leave it in their current language, and I'm sure Nico and crew would even translate it for them. But maybe we translate the form into Farsi, then would that make it easier? But I don't think spending a lot of time trying to work on the form is really a solution. I'd say that would be a waste of time. But maybe translating it, that could make sense.
Mm-hmm. I think it's not the problem of reading the form or just writing the form. It's the time that's how the feelings can be converted to a simple UI that I can communicate with. I got your points.
I want to mention that we do have this little bot that will turn any of your spoken words into any spoken text, and if you speak Farsi, it will turn to Farsi. But yeah, it needs to be the other person needs, of course, to understand. I didn't test Farsi, but it should work. And you're not bound to the UI then anymore.
Yeah, so did you hear that? Kai made a buddy review bot that you can just speak to, and it will fill out the form for you, basically.
No. Nobody tried it. If you need guidance, please ask me. It's really easy and it should speed up your process. I know nobody tried it. I see the requests.
Guys, maybe I can share an idea that I just have as well. Maybe following up on what Lauren was suggesting, make the body review across teams. It's a nice idea to get the contributor to choose let's say, for example, at least three people to give him or her a body review, and let these choices be from different teams, so not just the teams that they are working with. Maybe they want someone from other team to give them a review. So not just developers, reviews to developers. So from one side, this will make the contributor think more about what can I give to other team members and how can they review me as well. So like promote cross-team body reviews, maybe.
All right, we got lots of different ideas here, and I think I want Nico, Fischel, and Heather. Well, I want mostly Nico, Heather, and Nicola to like think about this stuff. But I'm down to collect some more ideas, but I want the pros to actually implement this for us.
Yes, Mitch. We'll schedule a separate call for this one to talk about some of the suggestions, and then we'll bring our solution to the table.
Yeah, we'll have our call in about 2.5 hours as well. The DAO Ops weekly, so we'll have some more space there. But I love the ideas, and then we'll just take a few people and we'll harness it and put it into something we can act on. Okay. We got Clockify, we got buddy reviews, we got 25 minutes until this call will end. Unless you think we can end it now. Anything else? Go ahead, Monique.
Sorry, because I feel I'm not heard very well. I just want to add more that it's not the problem of the language, It's the problem of how we can create these questionnaires and, remove the feelings. The character of a good questionnaire is that it would be very fast and easy to get the feeling, get related to a simple UI that the users want to provide. I read lots of feedbacks from Lauren, lots of the people around the Giveth. And for example, Lauren provide 2-3 paragraphs for each question for the feedbacks. And there are lots of information in that paragraphs. If you want to analyze the all data that is provided into a single input from a questionnaire, it's the body, should read all of them and try to understand them, and then let the reviewer or let the people know that this person had this review for you. So I mean that it's less, in quality rather than, the exact data, the right question, with simple choices. I had the experience for creating the 316-degree feedback forms that every person in the company fill out a form for every other person in the company, and all the data gathered, and we have ratings there, and there was a kind of payouts forms that we kind of rewards we give it to the people. There was lots of discussions around how we can create these forms to be very quantitative instead of lots of text. This is what I mean. It should be very easy, right questions, and we can use this data. That's it. Sorry for it.
Got it. Okay. Great. Anything else to add? All right. Well, we talked about a lot more than I thought we were going to, so that's great. That's fun. Cool. Well, if there is nothing else, we can end this call early. Heads up to Griff, please sign this multi-sig transaction. Griff, sign this multi-sig transaction. It's in the chat there. I'll post it again. Other than that, we can say goodbye, get your 20 minutes back, and we will do this again same time next week.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Mitch. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,